I have a confession to make. It's kind of embarrassing. So the deal is I burp a lot. I have a burping issue. After a meal, I do burp a lot. Like I'm talking maybe 20 times. I tell you this because I read an article about walking after a meal and how it helps with digestion. And I put two and two together. So I did.
Love heals my hunger, mends my heart. I find the strength to make a new start. No more fear, no more fight.
Welcome, everybody, to the Heal Your Hunger Show. So happy to have you here. It is a great day to be alive. And the name of this show is changing. I'm so excited and a little scared and terrified and excited. Anyway, welcome. So glad you're here. I'm excited about this topic. You know, this topic is deeply personal for me because I have a confession to make. It's kind of embarrassing. So the deal is I burp a lot. I have a burping issue. And I didn't know I had a burping issue until I went to Italy with my mother and we were together. We were sharing a room together and we were together all day and we were touring places. And at some point she's like, "What's up with the burping?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just burp a lot." And she's like, "You got to get that looked at." So I did. I came home and I started seeing doctors and trying to get to the bottom of why was I burping so much. I got checked out. I did a swallow test. I did all kinds of tests of my digestion, of my swallowing, and they couldn't come up with anything like why it was happening. I wasn't like swallowing extra air. That was a swallow test. So, I finally gave up. I was like, I don't know why I'm burping, but I'm burping. And thank God that the people who love me in spite of my burping. And I'm not saying I burp all the time, but after a meal, I do burp a lot. Like I'm talking, the course of an hour or 2 hours, maybe 20 times. I mean, it's kind of gross, But I tell you this because I read an article about walking after a meal and how it helps with digestion. And I put two and two together. I'm like, that's what's happening. Because when I do walk after a meal, I burp and burp and burp and burp and burp, and then I'm done. So, like within 20 to 30 minutes, I'll do all my burping, but it's triggered by walking. And so I thought, I know this is true because this is my experience. When I walk, the burping starts. I digest. I know this. So, anyway, it's a cool article. It was in the magazine Eating Well. And I want to share with you some of the highlights because this is especially important for emotional eaters because so often we want to eat more after we're done with a meal and we crave something sweet. It's a big problem. Like it's a big problem for emotional eaters. I hear about this all the time. Why do I crave something sweet after a meal? And I'm just here to say, if you do crave something sweet, first of all, welcome to the world of being an emotional eater. We're used to wanting more. It's just part of what happens as emotional eaters. I'm 37 years into my healing journey, and I still sometimes at the end of the meal feel like, what's next? It's a longstanding habit to want more, to want our food to give us more. So I'm not going to get into that topic per se, but I will say this article, which talked about the benefits of walking after a meal, was so good for me to read. And I wanted to share it with you because I have a feeling it could be a great solution to your wanting to keep eating. So this is a chance for us all to walk it off and to realize that there is science behind getting out of the house, going for a walk at the end of the meal, and so many benefits. And I'm just going to tell you what those benefits are. So this is an article from Eating Well, and there's some great science of why walking after a meal is so important. The first is it improves blood sugar control. Okay, so it helps flatten the post-meal blood sugar spike, and that's good. So when you walk after a meal, You're going to control those blood sugar spikes that lead to blood sugar crashes that lead to emotional eating, wanting more, needing another pick-me-up. So really important that you will have less of a blood sugar roller coaster ride if you get up, get out of the house, and walk. Now, part of the science made the distinction between walking after a meal versus walking before the meal, and walking after the meal is even more advantageous. And it's also important to note that walking as soon as you can after a meal is going to give you the most advantages. So the next reason why walking after a meal is good for you is it gets your digestive system moving. And this is definitely, like I was talking about, this is why I found myself burping more after a meal, because walking stimulates the digestive system. Research shows that a 10 to 15-minute walk after a meal is going to improve your gastrointestinal comfort and just your overall digestive workings, inner workings, okay? So we're talking less bloating, less gas, and less abdominal pain if that's a problem for you. Okay, it also increases circulation. So moving your body helps to improve your circulation by getting your blood flowing. And I do also think this is why whenever I would walk, I'd get the burping going, probably because the blood is flowing as well. Now, the fourth reason why walking after a meal is good is it lowers your blood pressure. So nearly half of the US have hypertension, high blood pressure, and it's a major risk for heart disease, and it's controllable through lifestyle changes. So guess what? We can change our bodies by walking and then experiencing the benefit of lowering our blood pressure through walking. It's a non-pharmacological way of lowering your blood pressure. How cool is that? So in the article, it talked about a study that showed that with people with hypertension found that they had significant reduction after 1 year of habitual walking. So a brisk walk for at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week, has been clinically proven to reduce weight, which in turn can significantly improve blood pressure by at least 8 to 10 pressure points. All right, so they're connecting the blood pressure decreasing to weight loss. So, of course, weight loss is the next reason why walking is so good. Walking after meals is a low impact, sustainable form of exercise, and it totally supports weight loss. In fact, it's one of the 6 self-care success secrets in the Heal Your Hunger program is gentle walking. You don't need to be beating yourself up with exercise. You can go for a gentle walk. I like to go for a walk, pray, meaning I pray while I walk, but it totally will help with reducing calories, helping get blood flowing, and over time in a sustainable way, meaning you can keep doing it. You're not going to get exhausted and say, oh, screw it. You can keep it up. It can become a really yummy daily habit, and it will, of course, support weight loss. The 6th reason is it boosts your mood. I always feel good after walking. You just feel like you're being productive. You get out, you get fresh air, you get your mind off your troubles, certainly your mind off of food. Okay, but there's also real science behind it. Exercise boosts your level of serotonin and dopamine, and it triggers the release of endorphins, all of which help elevate your mood and make you feel great. So who doesn't want a little bit of that? If you just get out of the house and start walking, you're going to feel better. You are going to forget about food, and you're also just going to have a better outlook on life. I find, especially when I pray while I walk, I just feel so good. I love feeling spiritually connected. I love having my prayer time, a little walk with God, and not to mention all the other benefits that come with that. But I walk back into the house and I feel great. It's like I forgot my troubles. And to make it easier, schedule a walk with a friend or schedule a walk with your partner if you live with somebody. Say, hey, can we go for a walk after dinner? Let's give it a shot. I mean, it's summertime. It's a great time to get out after dinner, right? Especially if you live in a hot area. But even if it's cold out, I want to encourage you to bundle up and go out. Again, it will so boost your mood. It'll feel so good, and all the other benefits will be yours as well. Another thing walking can do is help with sleep. Ooh, this is a good one. A short evening walk can regulate melatonin and wind you down. If you have trouble falling asleep, if you're up very late watching TV or scrolling on Facebook, try taking a walk after your meal and it might help you sooner wind down and get ready for sleep. Really important, especially for emotional eaters, because we tend to be nighttime eaters. We just go back to the kitchen time and time again. And part of that sometimes is because we can't sleep. And part of the reason we can't sleep at times is because we're going to the kitchen. So either way, if you get out of the house, take a walk after dinner, it could help you get to sleep sooner and stay out of the kitchen. And so I just want to encourage you to get out and walk, grab a friend and walk with a friend, make a walking date. Or if you don't have that as an option, put some really awesome music on in your earbuds and go walk and listen to music on your phone or podcast. Listen on this podcast. All right. Maybe you're already doing that. But I just want to encourage you because this is such a simple solution. I find that I'm more spiritually connected when I walk and pray, and I'm more connected to myself and to nature and just to my surroundings when I get out of the house and I walk. And I want this for you. So thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in the next show. If you're ready to get off the dieting roller coaster ride and finally make peace with food and with your body, talk to a Heal Your Hunger mentor about what steps you need to take based on your own history with food and weight. Go to healyourhunger.com and register for an emotional eating breakthrough session and see how fast you can experience real change. It's a complimentary evaluation, but there are limited spots available. So go to healyourhunger.com and register to speak with a mentor today.